I'm gonna try and make this episode fast because I will be streaming with Charlie Lee at 9 o'clock. So
All
we're
right, I
calling
just
it
sent it
Features
in the
Podcast Episode 1.
Telegram.
All right. Features Podcast Episode 1 is ready. Let me mute my phone. Gonna hit the live button in three, two, one.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Blockchain Universe Futures Podcast. Tonight it is April 28th of 2020, and boy, we are still under quarantine. So here we are. I'm Annalise, and I'm here with Ryan, Patrick, and Jerome. Say hey guys.
What's up? This is Patrick.
Hey, welcome. Thank you for listening in. Brian here.
How's it going? I'm Jerome from bitsandtokens.com.
All right, so today we have a variety of topics that we're going to be going over, and I feel like one of the hottest topics right now, besides the amid Corona pandemic that we're still going through, even though states are pushing to be open, would right now be the speculation of Kim Jong Un's death and what that means for I think it was $65 million he had in BTC or 65 million BTC if I'm not mistaken. Let me just pull that story up real quick. But there's a lot of speculations amid this time saying, that he died from a surgery. South Korea is saying no, he's alive, which is, giving us the opposite of what the rest of the world is saying. And then, of course, there's in question what is happening to that BTC if he is dead, and if not, will it still be sold off, and what that holds in store for the market, because that is a big chunk, which could, if it's obviously sold off, that could obviously dive the price of BTC, and we can fall back under our current mark. So there's a few things there that I find interesting. Just pull the story up, but have you guys heard? Oh, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, we
So
can.
I
Okay,
think
perfect.
that Kim Jong Un is definitely still alive. There have been satellite imagery of where he is, and the fact that there is a uh, train cart near where he's staying, which is a very luxurious resort. And the fact of the matter is that this is probably not going to be sold off. The Bitcoin holding that he does have, it makes no sense. It's an asset to his entire kingdom, his hermit kingdom, seeing as they are pretty much holding for the long haul as this becomes a scarce commodity in the future. So yeah, Kim Jong Un is more than likely still alive. That's just you know I'd say propaganda from the West, nonetheless. What's your opinion on it, Brian and Jerome?
I was reading a little bit into it, just checking out some of the articles as you were saying. Most of them that I was reading was just kind of saying that he got away, due to because of the coronavirus, trying not to get, infected or whatever. Wasn't really giving a lot of definitive details on it, like where he went or, if he left any sort of, measures for taking care of the, country or whatever while he was gone or, any sort of thing. So, I can't really say anything one way or the other, just that it all sounds kind of fishy. But then again, most things that I hear from, over there tend to have a, you know, sense of that in some way or another. Jerome, what about you?
Yeah, I looked into it a little bit, and I think it's a little strange that all of this is coming out at the same time as what's going on with this pandemic. I'm not, you know, I don't have any connections or ties to North Korea, so I can't say if it's factual or not. But I do believe that he's alive still. But I think that he's not in the best of health. We all know he's a bit obese, which is why they call him Winnie the Pooh, as well as I saw articles that they
Bro,
were having.
that's excuse me, I hate to interrupt you, but that's Jin Jing Pao, my friend. Uh,
Oh, that's true.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Xi
yeah,
Jinping. China is Winnie the Pooh, not
yes,
North Korea. That's my
yeah.
fault.
That's
I
funny.
mixed the two of them up. Well, oh well. Yeah. I mean, they
Are
both
you saying
a
all
little on the
Asians
heavy
look
side.
alike?
I am not
Wow.
saying
No,
that,
Xi
but I do
Jinping.
think that.
Excuse me, I messed up
Yeah,
too.
yeah, not Pao.
It's Ping.
Xi Jinping. Yeah. Well, anywho, not
Pao.
talking about Xi Jinping from China. We're talking about Kim Jong Un from North Korea, who
Hmm.
is most likely just sick, not dead, but it's not like it's a far off idea of him dying either. I did see that they ordered Chinese doctors to head to North Korea, and there was a train with them traveling over. So for them to then ask for China for help, that's pretty severe in my eyes. What does that say for his Bitcoin holdings? I don't think he's gonna touch it.
If he's alive, of course not. It would just be if he, I say died. But even then, maybe the country would hold it as an asset to the country's, GOP evaluation. But that's all
You
that
know,
I saw with
they
Kim Jong Un.
they acquired that BTC through illegal means, might I add.
Oh, I'm
So
sure.
yes.
I'm
Next,
sure.
next story.
So one more thing that I saw regarding the world of Microsoft and Bill Gates. Oh, our favorite. So Microsoft is trying to patent a way to mine BTC, or actually have the patent for it already. But basically, they would like to mine BTC using your radio wave brain activity. So the the waves, your brain waves emits heat, and that would be considered the proof of work, or POW, as you guys know it. And essentially, instead of having computations like we have now, GPUs and CPUs, and ASIC and mining rigs, you would just basically use the heat that your brain generates from your body when you're thinking to mine cryptocurrency. Now, that's a very interesting idea. I haven't heard anything quite like it. What do you guys think about this one?
I think this is the tie into augmented reality and the aspect of just passive income through being alive at that point. Not to mention bioepigenetics, having extensions of your intelligence operating on your basis automatically without you even knowing it. Sort of like an AI that's built into your brain almost. So, yeah,
Hmm.
I think it's a really cool
Interesting
concept,
thought.
Hmm.
but highly dangerous technology nonetheless.
Oh, yeah, of course it is. What about you guys? What do you think, Jerome and Brian?
Yeah, it's not something that I've previously heard of. I know I've been, as times go on and mining gets harder and harder and people look for new ways to earn cryptocurrency, new methods form, but and then you also hear on the other end of the spectrum, people with nano chip implants and adding all this tech to their bodies and augmenting themselves and all that sort of thing. So it just kind of really brings up the question of how far are people willing to go for what end, what convenience can it add to their lives, for what are they getting changed about themselves, and at what point does it become too much, or make you into something else, or just how far can it really enhance you and affect you. But definitely seems interesting. Curious as to how much you can actually earn from that and what methods you can use
Mining from your
to.
brain?
Yeah, whether it's like
That
nodes
just
that they
sounds so
attach,
funny.
because I have used EEG, electromagnetic, headsets for tracking brain waves and that sort of thing that have, nodes that attach to your ears and scalp and sort of thing. So I'm kind of curious as to, because first waves of technology are generally very rough and not very sleek, kind of like the Rift CV1 compared to the Quest, where it's whatever. So I'm curious as to how any sort of technology for that is going to turn out and
Now here's
whether
a
there's going to
question
be
for you guys. Would you
takers.
do it?
If it's something as simple as an EEG, where it's just you put like a headset on, say when you go to bed, and you connect a few pads to your forehead or whatever, and you just go to bed, and then you wake up, and then you've mined a few dollars worth, I'd be down to try it. But if it's something that's a bit more intrusive or bulky or whatever, expensive, if you will, for the startup cost of the technology, because I'm sure just like any expensive GPU miner, one that's just going to use the power of your brain, that's probably a one-time cost, is going to have quite a steep buy-in price. So
Possibly, possibly.
that's definitely something to take in. But yeah, I mean, if it all goes well, I'd be down to try it. I don't know about any of you. Why
I
not?
definitely would be down to try it. You know me, I'm always, one to try some new technology. Mining for my brain, I don't know. It does sound a little bit trippy, but it's not like it's far off when you think of like Elon Musk's what's that company that I forget the name of that
It's
other
called
company
Neuralink.
that he has. Neuralink, yeah. It's not that far off. And then I saw recently that somebody used something like an EEG machine or the technology of an EEG machine and equipped it into a VR headset so that way he can control the game with his brain rather than a controller, less input lag. So I think that's pretty fascinating. If I could be able to utilize that right now in today's day and age, what makes using my brain to mine like that far off? It's definitely feasible.
Cool, 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 guys. All right, so I have one more story of interest that I'm going to mention, and if you guys are open to any stories, feel free to jump in on the floor. But I just wanted to mention that we currently have 32 bills introduced as of right now in Congress for cryptocurrency and blockchain technology in general. And that personally makes me kind of excited, but it also kind of takes away from the, I guess, anonymity and I guess the decentralized aspect that people like about cryptocurrency and it being non-related to the government. In this instance, we see that Patrick. Sorry, Patrick, your mic's throwing
Hello?
me off. It's like crackling. Yeah, your mic's crackling.
Oh, still right now?
Yeah, it's like making noises. I would mute it if you're not talking.
Okay, pardon.
It's all cool. All right, sorry, that just threw me off. But I was saying that I think it's really important and interesting that we're going into, I guess, some government ties when it comes to cryptocurrency, because of course, um, nothing's going to go, unregulated here, especially in the U.S. But at least I can say that only 37% out of 100% is people being afraid of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology being used for terrorism and money laundering and things like that. Which is a good step, it used to be all bad. Now only 37% of the House shows concern. So I think we're heading in a step to the right direction. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Bad Crypto podcast, but they're having a virtual blockchain week this week. And essentially, I saw Caitlin Long on there, which she's doing an awesome job in Wyoming with the blockchain task force out there and getting the U.S. Blockchain regulated and oriented properly, so that we don't mess up how we do blockchain here in the country. But just wanted to throw that out there, give an update on that, because I know that's something that's going to be ongoing and something that as a country we'll be moving forward, and that depends the fate of how blockchain technology flourishes here in the U.S. But do you guys have any stories, anything you guys want to go over that you saw you thought was interesting?
Bef- Before we go into other stories, I just want to say how well said that was. I mean, you really wrapped up in really a short amount of time what's going on with regulations And just to, touch on that, guys, like she's talked about Caitlin Long. She's doing some amazing things. I applaud her for what she's doing for, I believe it's the state of Wyoming. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that she's going to be on the Bad Crypto podcast, Blockchain Week. I'm really excited to see what they're going to be doing. I believe that starts next week.
No, it's
No.
right now.
Oh, yeah, this week.
It's
Okay,
this
so it's
week.
all of this week
Yeah.
is a Bad Crypto
May I just
podcast.
emphasize
They got a ton of
the
speakers. Go
May I
ahead.
just emphasize the fact that that this is a permissionless ecosystem, and regardless of what government thinks, this is not going anywhere. Yeah,
Pete.
just wanted to say that because it's true.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'll call it there. I'm ready to move on to the gaming subject, some of my favorite. And before we touch into some of the news of the week and gaming, I wanted to make sure I brought up again for anybody that wasn't here or didn't listen last week. We were talking about how Google Stadia is now free. It is normally $10 a month if you want to have their pro subscription, which they normally just give you 2 games a month. But for this promotional offer, most likely due to the pandemic, they're giving out 2 months for free, 9 games that are coming with it. Annalise jumped on. We had some fun. Been playing with a bunch of other friends who I've been talking to get Google Stadia. Been having a blast. And today I ended up. Today was the Stadia Connect, where they announced a bunch of new Stadia games. One of which I'm really excited to get is the new Star Wars game that came out last year. I didn't buy that, but I will be getting it Google Stadia. And they had Monopoly for like $10. It's a $50 game that's been out for a while. Today, just a quick little story. I promise I'm almost done. I ended up picking up Monopoly, and normally you can only play Google Stadia in the Stadia app on your phone, but I found some Touch Stadia. It's a software code that you can put into your Chrome browser, and if you go into desktop mode on your Chrome browser on your phone and you go to stadia.com, put in this code in the browser, it then allows you to use your phone with touch controls like you would for any other mobile game. And then you could be able to play Google Stadia. And normally you can only play on Wi Fi. I was
So Jerome's headset died. My bad.
Uh,
So he'll be back, but yeah, whenever he gets back. But as Google Stadia, one of the things I know, F for Jerome. I think he was mentioning that you can get a controller for Stadia, if I'm not mistaken. That if you don't have your, Stadia controller with you, you're able to use an Xbox controller, PlayStation controller, the Stadia controller that Google made, or if you're on a desktop, you can open up Stadia on your mobile device in the desktop version. And I believe that Stadia now allows you to not have to use Wi-Fi in order to play out of their app as well. You can use your data now. And there was somebody made a JavaScript remote control emulator that will actually come up on your screen, and you can play Google Stadia with the remote control overlaid on your screen in case you forgot your remote at home or you don't have a remote. So it was kind of cool. It's a JavaScript add-on that somebody had coded and added into Stadia. So it's a pretty neat thing in case anyone out there ever plays Stadia or forgets their remote at home. Or even wants to check it out. You guys should definitely check out Stadia. It's free for the next 2 months, and there's a lot of new games that they dropped. So that was his spiel. Did you guys check out Stadia?
My internet sucks over here, so I have no reason to.
Your internet sucks, so you have no
It's
reason to. Oh man, yeah, that's the thing about streaming, man. When things are cloud based, it's you rely more on having good bandwidth than just having the game or downloading 85 gigabytes on your computer. Whatever it is, it's more dependent on things that are on the cloud. But I feel like
Yeah.
all gaming is shifting that way, and I feel like in general we're seeing a bigger shift to cloud-based gaming. Because even the game Call of Duty, that Warzone, which is one of the most popular games that people are playing right now, a lot of that game is based on the cloud, even though it's huge when you download it. I think it was like 85 gigabytes it took up on my computer. A lot of people are still shifting into having the majority of the game being cloud based. So I feel like there's a big shift to having things that are cloud based. We're seeing 5G is popping up right now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're gonna have better internet, overall in the future. We need to start. I feel like companies really need to start investing in, fiber optic networks and things like that, so that we have the bandwidth in the future to be able to facilitate, these things right now. Because I'm still seeing companies that are offering 12 megabytes, for their mid-tier plan, which is crazy. So, you know,
Um, I think these companies are actually moving away from fiber optics because fiber optics is already technically deployed a little bit. And in fact, they're trying to deploy satellite technology where they're beaming down 5G. So, and that, of course, would be much better, especially in low Earth orbit, higher speeds, less costs, and overhead, and just a bit more maintenance. That's all, but still a better solution. Nonetheless, I actually looked at the webpage for Stadia. I did download it. I have been really, really busy preparing for my release on a record label, so I haven't really been spending too much time inside of video games. Nonetheless,
congrats, Patrick. Record label,
yeah.
that's pretty huge.
Thanks. I've been doing cryptocurrency trading for them for like the past 2 years. So yeah, they actually want to, sign my art. So
Cool.
pretty cool.
Do you guys have any other gaming things that you've seen lately? Gaming articles that you since you're on
Yeah, I
that?
got just, one that's pretty important that I figure I might mention in. I don't know if how many of you may or may not know, for anyone listening and whatnot, of the Samsung integration with Engine into their phones. That was like, I think, a little bit over a year ago or so now. It's been a bit.
Uh
Yep.
huh.
But
Thank you,
as
bought
of
it.
now, they began adding some Tron dApps into their Galaxy store. So currently, from what I've read, they've added
Oh.
Blockchain Cuties, Super Player, Meerkat Mining, and Time Loop. I only know what like two of those are, and only roughly Super Player. But either way, I definitely know what Blockchain Cuties is, and I think that's just Tron specific. That's all the article really went into was Tron. So I don't think there's any like Engine or any other blockchain specific ones, as well as it's limited to their S10 and 20 as well as the Note 10 models. So just their newer end versions that have the full access to the crypto wallet integration, and the most expensive ones obviously. So, but we're seeing some direct mass adoption of some of these dApps and blockchain games into something that we know at least hundreds of thousands of people have their hands on. Three of the biggest Samsung smartphone devices, so quite a
Yeah.
decent population or pool of people to check out the projects and give them a go and dip their toes into blockchain. Whether or not Tron is the best option for them to dive in for dApps and to check out blockchain as a general is up in the air. Definitely a matter of personal opinion, especially as opposed to Ethereum or Neo or EOS or any of the other many multiples, but I'm sure EOS wouldn't have been an option. But either way, that is the main one that I have, just because Samsung's quite a big tech giant. So
Yeah, Samsung's a big name, and I think that this would help. I feel like Samsung has been pushing a lot towards just getting more technology involved in their smartphone in general. Because I'm sure you guys have seen the smartphones that run on blockchains, like the HTC Nexus, Exodus, and all those other phones. So I feel like in order to compete against those phones, of course, these companies are starting to incorporate, technology that for some people may not be something that you use every day, but for others, like, developers or techies who are in the space, they would find useful instead of getting a blockchain phone. So I feel like they're trying to compete against that oncoming market and head on. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And with the
Yeah,
added
totally.
wallet integration, already in the phones, it just adds. They don't have to go and download a crypto wallet app or whatever, and then find their keys and sign in. They can just
Right.
start up the phone, create the wallet. I don't know if that would work directly with the Tron apps, but at least for any of the engine ones they have, they can just create the wallet and then just start playing any of the dApps and have that sent right to the phone. So hopefully they'll have some software updates. I mean, the Quest has gotten, just kind of as a not really related, but also related. I mean, if the Quest can get, Oculus Link and hand tracking within the first year as far as like free software updates that just, I mean, absolutely change the game of what the headset can do, then I'm sure, these $2,000 smartphones are capable of adding on at a couple extra blockchains with a few secure updates down the line. So I'm very interested to see how that's
Totally.
gonna develop and continue to expand, hopefully across multiple smartphones and companies, and starting to see just as well as you got was it Apple Pay or whatever, Apple Wallet or Google Wallet or whatever, but to actually see that
Mm-hmm.
alongside, like, or maybe even included, you have the Chase cryptocurrency they're working on, or whatever currency digital coin they're working on. So maybe we'll have not really centralized, but at least a platform central crypto wallet or digital wallet that can store maybe your debit cards, credit cards, Bitcoin, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
everything to just you go in, you scan it, and you can have maybe pre-selected what your default choice of bank account or Bitcoin or whatever, and if it accepts it, it'll go with the first one, and if not, maybe it'll go to the second or whatever. Who knows? Technology's going so wildly fast at this point in time. Next few years are just going to be a wild ride.
Yeah,
Yeah. So.
I wanted to bring up the fact that there's a lot of seed funding going into these blockchain-based game companies, and it's pretty cool to see that the market is still maturing. These projects are still underway, even through a pandemic, and people still have money to throw around at these companies to make sure that they develop a product for research and development within this decentralized space. So Ember Sword raised 700,000 in a pre-seed funding led by Play Ventures. Not to mention the fact that one of my MMORPGs that I play a little bit on my phone here and again, I do a lot of trading on the app. They have a really cool zone called the Grand Exchange where players can do peer-to-peer trades. It was acquired by a Shanghai-based company recently. So Jagex in itself was essentially purchased by a parent company that's you know pretty much overseeing their funding and allocation of funds. So maybe better servers coming their way. Um, Also, they are hosting I believe, XP-based charity event for people that play the game. The amount of experience points that everybody on the network receives is equal to the amount of money that the company out of Shanghai will donate for the pandemic relief. So yeah,
Hmm.
some
That's
exciting
cool.
developments going on over there.
That's neat. I like that.
Mhm.
Do you have any more stories? Anything else that you guys found interesting this week?
Not any in particular. Ethereumon has a tournament going on May 3rd, which is a kind of Pokemon-like game on the blockchain. You get like three starter Ethereumons, and then you can go and send them out to battle and they'll fight other teams and whatnot. I thought the project stopped developing like a year or so ago, but apparently they're back. As well as the tournament's going to have around 4.5 Ethereum worth of prizes, so quite a bit you can earn. Around $1,000 total, and I'm sure there'll be like less than 50 people definitely that end up joining. So good chance to earn a decent bit of crypto. Go and invest in some other projects or start some day trading or do whatever. So May 3rd was the day, 14 UTC, whatever time that is. I didn't convert it to my own, so I'm sure you guys can look it up if interested. And besides that, yeah, that's pretty much it on my end. Others are just kind of other filler news. I'm sure you got some stuff going on. You guys said you wanted to get done a bit early, so yeah, Patrick, you got anything else you want to throw in there?
Nope, that's just about it. It's great having this conversation. I'm surprised Jerome isn't back yet.
Yeah, so his headset had died, but he is going to actually stream with Charlie Lee. If you guys are interested, make sure to check out the Blockchain Universe. What is it? Facebook, not Facebook, YouTube and Twitter page. It'll be streamed down there. If you guys know who Charlie Lee is, he is the creator of Litecoin. If you guys are familiar with Chicken or Magical Crypto Friends, he is Chicken on there. So Charlie Lee is a super cool guy, but of course there's a little bit of controversy around him since he sold off all his Litecoin. So some people in the community admire him for his development of the cryptocurrency. Other people in the community go, well, it's a shitcoin because he sold off his crypto. But overall, actually, Charlie's a pretty cool guy. Talked to him a few times. So just if you guys are interested, make sure to just watch that because it is Star Trek VR, I think that they're playing, or Star Wars, one of the two. Star Trek. Well, right before we go, I'm just going to mention a couple of the events and things where you can catch us next if you do like the Blockchain Futures podcast, as well as other events that we'll be hosting here in the world and some popular events that you might be interested in. So on Mondays, Crypto Mondays, obviously in VR, is actually right here in this world every Monday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we also try to fit in Crypto Mondays from around the world. Like San Fran, Miami, New York, etc. So make sure to come out for Crypto Mondays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've met people from London, Portugal, anywhere. It's a remote meetup, guys. So make sure to check it out. That's Monday at 6:30 p.m. Or you can also join the Telegram group t.me/Crypto Mondays VR. Tuesday, of course, we have our Futures podcast. That's every Tuesday at 8 p.m. here in the world as well in alt space, where we talk about hot topics as you've seen today and things that are just trending on in the world. On Wednesday, I don't think you guys have anything on Wednesday. I know Thursday is the Wednesday's gaming. Is that a game night? I know Friday's a game night. Wednesday looks like it's a game night too, according to Jerome. He's in the back of my ear screaming. So Wednesday is a game night here in the Blockchain Universe world as well. Thursday is a live, meetup here in VR of Drunk Crypto. Drunk Crypto is at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I think it's just a watch party. Friday is game night. Come out, come play some games. If you guys do have the Oculus Quest, download Hyperdash. Go on SideQuest, download Hyperdash. It's a really cool game. We like to play it on Fridays. And I think we're going to have Johnny Dollar in this Friday, if I'm not mistaken. He is an artist, and he's going to be talking to us about, the tokenization of art and gaming. So that's going to be cool. Saturday is another event that Brian and Jerome hold here in the world. I think that one's specifically geared towards gamers. So that's something here that's held at 12 p.m. noon each Saturday. So come out on Saturday if you're a blockchain or gamer in general, VR gamer, doesn't matter. That one's geared specifically towards you. And in other news, popular events that are going right now would be the virtual blockchain week. If you guys are interested in blockchain at all, or the virtual blockchain week is going on right now. It's from now until May 2nd, and it's held by the Bad Crypto podcast. There's also the Ethereal Conference that is also virtual. It is May 7th, 6th and 7th, I believe. 7th and 8th. Sorry, guys. It's May 7th and 8th, and that is held by it's the Ethereal Conference, so that's going to be cool as well. And let me make sure I haven't missed anything because there's so many events going on. There's Remote Tech Week, and that's another conference that's being held. It looks like there's a lot of digital conferences that are being held in general, but the hot ones I think is going to be the Virtual Blockchain Week for sure, the Ethereal Conference for sure, and then there's another Remote Tech Week that's going on as well. So there's a few events you guys can check out. If you're interested at any point in time into brand new blockchain events, just look them up. There's a lot of them going out there since we're in remote times and we're still under lockdown. Hopefully the states open up soon so we can get back to, regular life. But for right now, everything is still locked down and virtual conferences seem to be the trend. So without further ado, guys, thanks for tuning in to this Blockchain Universe Futures podcast. I'm Annalise. I'm here with Patrick and Brian. Jerome has left us, but that is our podcast for today. Again, it is April 28th, 2020. We will see you guys next time.
All right, thank you all for joining, and peace out, everyone. Hopefully see you all at our next event, so take it easy.